Hello everybody and welcome back to what has seemed recently like Min-Miss Space Program. We've been spending a lot of time here, and we're actually getting fairly close to done here. And that's wonderful. Let me just zoom on in, because, actually before I do that, I just want to say, yes, I have worked off camera on the space pad, or the landing pad rather. Feast your eyes on this. Okay, so it looks almost exactly the same, but I have reworked this. In fact, I have relaid every tile here, and I've figured out a way to do this in a much better way. Instead of trying to do one down the center and do 9, it just fits much better if we do this with 8 per row. So that will be absolutely fine, and we'll just do that. That will actually save us a total of like 9 tiles, so we should have plenty of tiles for that. Now, I'm not going to make you suffer through watching me do this. It's still a fairly tedious process. Let me just place one to show you exactly how I'm doing it right now. So I'm just placing it something like, actually, let me do the center one here. I'm going to move this guy and we'll place him, if I can. Actually, this is kind of awkwardly placed. So we'd probably, for one thing, snapping has to be on. We'd probably want to place it somewhere over here to get started. Maybe at a bit of an angle. We can adjust the angle later. It's not a problem. Yeah, this is definitely a little awkward on this side. I'm actually going to start on this side. Okay, where's a location we can place it? Okay, that's inauspicious. The other rows were going much more smoothly. Well, regardless, I'll just place it over here for right now. I'll have to move this one later, but you can place it like that, and then you can change the rotation if you need to. You can change the height if you need to. And then I've just been bumping it into place, kind of like that, snapping off and moving it, something along the lines of that. I mean, I could just move it in over here like this, in theory. And that should, in theory, be just fine, right? Like, I would think that that would be just fine to do it like that. That makes it much simpler, for sure. I'm not going to make you suffer through watching me place all of these, though. That would be like an episode and a half. And we are just going to head back to the Space Center. Fantastic. And once here, we are going to work on that ComSat that we are sending out to Eve to work on that system that we're... Ooh. Nice little, what is this, a post-sunset? I think this is a post-sunset, not a pre-sunrise. Well, no, that would be east, wouldn't it? Because we turn to the east. Yeah, so this would be sunrise. Okay, well, regardless, we're going to hop into the tracking station. And we're going to ignore all of this mess. I'll clean this up eventually. And we are going to grab the ComSat Mark III. That is, of course, on an escape trajectory here that we set up in the last episode. And we are just going to, honestly, time warp to the moon encounter. Here we go to the moon. Fantastic. We've got 400 and... Why would I say 400? 4,500 meters per second. Or should I just say 4.5 kilometers per second in this thing. So that is fantastic. Let's take a look at our actual gravity assist trajectory here. That's real nice. Let's just go ahead and warp to here. And get our nice gravity assist as we slingshot around the moon. Wonderful. And we are just, at this point, going to warp our way out of the Kerbal system. Now, I don't think that I'm necessarily going to warp all the way to Eve, because that's... I canceled the auto time warp. Okay. I don't think that I'm going to warp all the way to Eve, because that's quite a journey. That's probably going to be, because I didn't bother checking the alignment, probably going to be in the ballpark of years, but we can get this on the way anyway. So we'll just get ourselves out into the orbital influence of Kerbal, and then we are, of course, going to get ourselves an inclination change if necessary. 2.1 degrees. It may not end up being necessary. Thanks, X Science. It may not end up being necessary. Let's check something like... Where is Eve right now? Okay, so maybe around the descending node? Okay. I'm not 100% convinced that we need an inclination change to make this happen. Okay, maybe we do. Where's our encounter here? Yeah, there is no encounter. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the inclination change then. Apparently that is definitely necessary. So we will go ahead and do a burn over here at the descending node. That is in 81 days, and that should mean that we need to go this way. Yes, indeed. 332 meters per second? Not too bad. That is 81 days in the future, though, so let's head on back to the Space Center. No sense, I think, in warping forward that far. And honestly, if I construct the pad in the manner that I just was, I can probably get that built pretty quickly, right? The question is... Oh, I don't actually want to go into the tracking station. The question is, how boring will that be? I mean, my content is usually pretty boring, right? So maybe that's not a problem. Extract ore from Eve. That was not originally going to be part of the mission plan. We don't actually have to return that. That's interesting. We can grab this. We would have to manually trigger it. I mean, this would allow us to refuel with like a Apollo LAM module style thing, where we have like the Ascension module be completely empty as we're landing, and then we mine up the fuel, and the lander refuels the Ascent module. It's a possibility. I don't really know what shape that particular mission is going to take just yet. We'd have to have a lot of Delta V to get ourselves into Minmus orbit, and we could maybe rendezvous with a fuel tanker type thing up there that would then bring us back. That's an interesting concept. I think I'm going to accept this mission, and that's going to be all part of our Eve mission. But that, of course, requires that our Minmus mission be complete first, because I am definitely planning on using our refueling over there. So actually, let's just hop on over here, and I think let's get this done. I think it shouldn't be too awful bad to get this finished up. Just as soon as we load in. Excellent. Now we let the physics settle a bit. Yep. Yep. There we go. Okay, let's hop into build mode. And let's place this guy right on over here. Actually, we don't even need to have this in snap mode if we're going to place this in that manner. I don't really like the amount of wiggling this is doing. Hopefully it'll stop soon. It's kind of obnoxious, to be sure. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm just going to place a bunch of these on here. And then we are going to position them on kind of separately. Okay, we don't have a lot of grip here, or a lot of range, rather. So I'm going to move these a little closer, maybe have them positioned over here. So we'll position this, say, here, and we'll just move this stack right on over. Only going to move the one stack for now. We don't need to move any more than this. Should be completely fine. Excellent. And now we can just make our way over this way. Fantastic. Okay, now that we're over here, we should be able to mount a bunch of these up here. Now, they need to have a little bit of space, and we're definitely going to run out of space. But for now, we can do something like that, and then utilize the move tool. I do actually want snapping to be on for right now. Yeah, we've got some height issues here. That's fine. We'll turn snapping off, actually. I want to move this guy. Fantastic. And then we'll just position it over this way. We'll move this guy over here. Line that up like so. And line that up like so-ish. Actually, this is not the angle that I wanted the camera to be at. Okay, we'll line it up about like that. Fantastic. And then this one will, of course, line up like so and like so. Yeah. This is relatively quick, actually. I like it. Not too shabby, all things considered. We'll move this guy on over. And to think, I was actively avoiding doing this. Well, actually, I was too busy playing World of Warcraft, actually. Far too busy. Burning Crusade pre-patch. But hey, I'm getting close to the level cap on my new character, so all is good. Okay, so I can definitely see that we're a little bit out of alignment over here. We'll move that guy on over about like that. And then move this guy over a little bit to compensate. Yeah, this is going great. This is going absolutely fantastic. I can see that this is going to need to be dropped down a little bit more, actually. About like that. Wonderful. And there we go. Very nice. Very, very nice. I'm definitely... Well, we could probably utilize this area over here, now that I think about it, once we start running into space issues over here. Yeah, that's definitely something that we could do. Okay, let's hop back into the place tool. We are, of course, going to need additional grip pads. We've got them right here, though. I'm just going to utilize these grip pads, and I have no idea how their height is looking, but we'll just get them into position with the camera in this straight down position and align them as close as possible. I mean, I'm not going for a super close alignment. This is a landing pad, not a work of art, but just, you know, something along the lines of this so that it looks reasonable, not absolute garbage. That's the goal here. Okay, we'll just move that guy in a little bit more. I think we've got a height issue. We've got a height issue here anyway. Bring that on down. Fantastic. Yeah, this is going pretty quick. I like it. So overall, of course, the plan is that we're then going to need to send a mining craft over here. We'll need to assemble the arm, which is contained inside of this craft. And that arm is likely going to go out here. I would also like to figure out a way to stow the arm, perhaps underneath the pad in a fairly safe manner. I'm not sure what landing will end up doing to the actual arm physics. That'll be something that'll be interesting to figure out, because we're going to have to land on this pad, right? That's the whole point of the pad, is to land on it. So that will certainly be interesting. Okay, we'll place these guys up over here. And there's another row. We'll place a couple more. And that's all the pads we have moved for now. This isn't quite going to be enough to finish off this side, but that's okay. Place that there for now. Excellent. So you can see here that this is going to be pretty much the same going this way, except it is actually going to be 5 by... Or no, is this going to be... What's the actual center? This one's the center line. So it is going to be 4 by 4. Okay, we can always expand that a little bit later on, for sure. But we definitely want to build this guy. And once this is done, we can definitely focus in on that Eve mission. But I want to get this done. And I feel like working further on the Eve mission is not going to be particularly necessary or even useful, as long as this project is unfinished. I don't like to leave projects unfinished. So let's just get this one done. There we go. And we are, of course, going to position that about like so. Is that a height issue? Yeah, we've got a few height issues going on here. There's no doubt about that. We'll just move this on in. Fantastic. And in theory, we may be able to repurpose these guys, potentially, as fuel tanks. Which would also be interesting. Now, we can't really move these parts, although we haven't really tried too hard. I'll see if we can figure out some way to do it. But we are going to need additional pads over here. I'm going to go move another stack over. I'm sure this is just absolutely thrilling content right here. Let's build a landing pad. What could possibly be boring about that? I can't think of a single thing. Okay, so this stack will get moved on over. This will be more than enough to get this section finished, I think, and then we can start using it to build up over this way. But yeah, we should be able to, using this technique, have this finished easily within the episode. So let's just get it over with so that we can move on. So we'll come on over here, and we will, of course, start placing these. 1, 2, let me place them like over here. Yes. 3, 4. And we'll place one like over here-ish, if we can. Maybe? Maybe. Place it up here. Like I said, once we start running out of room, we can definitely do that. We can also stop placing them multiple at a time like this, and just do them one at a time and then move them into position. That's also a possibility. For now, we'll just do that and move them into position. We're going to have a height issue on all of them. It would be nice if you could multi-select in this mode, like shift-click to multi-select. Unfortunately, you can't. But that would be very, very convenient. So we'll just get these approximately lined up. Again, it doesn't have to be perfectly even. It just has to be good enough to land on. Which, as we know, we can land on some pretty rough surfaces. So we'll just go up into top view here and get these all lined up. And yeah, these grip pads, they're not going to be perfectly lined up with the girders underneath, but they don't have to be. So we'll just do something along the lines of that. Excellent. And we'll move it on up over this way. Like so. We'll just move this guy over this way a smidge. Perfect. This guy will place over here just quick and dirty. And then we'll move this guy on over this way. I'm thinking we might have one more row out this way. Maybe. We'll have to see how that looks with the actual placement. And then we're going to move this over here. Perfect. And over here. Actually, I'm not going to call that perfect. I'm going to call that reasonably close, but not great. And we'll move it over like that. Actually, probably this way just a smidge. Yeah, about like that. Actually, this row over here might be a good use case for those smaller pads that we brought up. I'll definitely have to think about that. But let's just get this into position, and then we can say that we have this half of the pad done anyway. Yeah, actually, this would be a great use case for that. Okay, we're going to have to move over here, and we're probably going to want to move additional of these. We do have a brace right in the middle as well. It is always a good thing. Let's just come over here and move a pile over here. In fact, we should probably... Whoa! Okay, Bill is really moving. What are you doing, Bill? How did you enter that tumble? I have no idea how he managed that. I was just walking. Sure, whatever. Physics in this game can be exciting sometimes. Well, we're going to head up over this way, and how many total do we need? We need 3. We've got one here, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we need 4 total rows here, and then 3 of 3. So 4 times 4 is, of course, 16, and plus an additional 6 is, of course, 21. Okay, so we're just... Ooh. That was exciting. Okay, we'll just let that settle. There we go. Ooh, okay. Got some interesting physics happening here. Let's just pile these up like so. Excellent. I do want to get these last 2. There we go. And then we'll move these guys like over here. Fantastic. Just get them a lot closer and easier to work with. There we go. And we'll move this stack as well. We are almost done working on these, though. We are very, very close, and that is fantastic. So we're going to head over here, and we're going to continue mounting. So we're going to grab from this little pile first, and we'll place all of these guys up here temporarily, and then we'll move them all into position as we have been. So we'll just move this one, say, over here, and then this one over here. I wonder what this will do to the collision model. I mean, it should be just fine, right? In theory. It should be completely fine. But we can try landing a test ship on this a little bit later. Probably not in this episode. We're just going to finish this construction in this episode. No matter how long it takes, we're going to be done in this episode. And I don't think it'll take too much longer, in all honesty. Let's go ahead and move this guy right on over here. I'm going to move this up over this way. This one is not particularly well aligned. There we go. That gives us more room to work with as well, which is always nice. And then we'll bring that like over there. This guy can come on over here. That'll do. And we'll just get these put on in. I don't know how many more we've got available. We should have some spare parts. And we might want to store those in some sort of a storage container. And we should also drop these heights at some point. Yeah. I would like to have like a steady height to put them at. We could say like this is the reference height. That'll do. Okay. That's good enough for now. This guy can come on in over here, and let's see how his alignment is. Pretty bad. Okay. Do something like that. Drop that height. Yeah, we can definitely see that we've got a not exactly even height here. I wish there was a way to just snap this height to a specified height. I mean, we could toggle snapping, but that seems to work in... That's in local. That's in absolute. Okay. That's awkward, to be sure. So the reason why that's awkward is we can snap it to a particular height, but then we're going to have to readjust the positioning because it snaps all three axes to the grid. Okay, that's definitely awkward, but I can make it work. There's no doubt about that. We're going to move this over and position it right about here. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. These guys can come on down. I mean, we could have this all just be at the default height, I suppose. But where's the fun in that? We're going to move this on over and position it about like so. And then this guy as well. Positioning it about here. Looks like we're maybe a little bit low with this one. Yeah, I mean, this one's maybe a bit low too. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. So we'll just go ahead and mount a few more of these on. If we can find locations for them. Oh my. Oh, well, snapping isn't on. Snapping being on helps a lot in finding locations that are valid for these. Okay. So my understanding of how the physics work in Unity games like KSP indicates to me that theoretically we shouldn't have any weird physics issues from snapping them onto this part like this and then moving them. Just because of the way that the colliders and rigid bodies work in Unity, we shouldn't have too big of an issue with that. So let's go ahead and position this on in here. We don't need snapping on. And we'll do something along the lines of that. Fantastic. This is now nearly complete. Bring this on down. There we go. And we'll bring this guy on over. That looks good enough. As far as height goes, maybe drop it a little bit. But again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine to be a little bit off. The grip pad is exceeding the weight. Okay, so as I said before, this is a bug. And what we can do with that is we can hack the gravity down to 0, attach it, and unhack the gravity. It's a clear bug, and it should not work like that. Okay, so we can then attach this guy over here. This guy over here. Maybe. If we can find a spot. Apparently not. Maybe with snapping on. Apparently not. Okay. We'll just drop him over there for now. And we'll place this right on in over here. Snapping off. Thank you very much. And we will place this about like a little further down. About like that and that. And I can see that this guy, he needs to come over this way. Perfect. So we only need to place a couple more of these. And really, I don't have to arrange them as carefully as I am, in all honesty. That is really awkward. Okay, we'll do something along the lines of that. Excellent. It does feel good to finally have this project almost complete. So let's go ahead and put on a couple more of these. I'd like to get another full row on here if we can. Should be plenty of space over here. But, you know, the game can be kind of finicky sometimes. Ooh, was that one? It has to be rotated a bit. We could fix that manually. But I think for now, we're just going to move this guy over here. And we're going to move all of these grip pads over. So we can access them from a little bit further away. I do think this is more grip pads than we need here. Almost certainly. And we're going to head on over this direction. Fantastic. Okay, we'll place this guy right up over here, snapping off. Line it up approximately. It does not have to be perfect. And line this one up approximately as well. It also does not have to be perfect. There we go. And we'll need 2 more to finish off this row. 1 here and 1 here. That'll be fine. We could mount another one here for now. Can we get one in over here? Well, we can get one there. So we need 2 plus 4 here. So we need a total of 6 over this way. That's fine. We can always expand this pad later with the extra parts we've got here if we find that that's necessary. I mean, I could just put these up here. For now, that'll be okay. That's the 6 that we need. And we're just going to place these over here and over here. Fantastic. Let's just get this done. At long last. Of course, we're still going to need to build the arm. That won't change for a little bit yet. And I'm just going to mount this guy right here. The arm is going to be a next episode sort of thing. And then we'll need to test it, of course. But the Minmus outpost is very nearly complete at this point. And that is absolutely fantastic. So we'll just align this one on in there, about like that. Let's check these heights. Yeah, I mean, you can see that our heights are pretty all over the place. We'll just smooth this out a tiny amount. But this is now a theoretically complete and theoretically functional landing pad. And that is, of course, absolutely fantastic. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will build the arm and maybe get ourselves a bit of a test of this thing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.